ladies, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to talk about some wrestling news. Haven't covered any in 4 days, so decided I want to cover the latest news I've missed over the last few days here of wrestling. I'll do the WWE Raw or WWE SmackDown recap tonight, the WWE Draft, and also I'll have Day 2 NFL recap for the NFL Draft rounds 2 and 3. But let's get into all that self-promotion out of the way. Let's get to the news here. So, a source here at Sportico, WWE President Nick Khan has filed to sell what appears to be all his holdings of 234,424 shares in TKO Group Holdings. And not the only thing we have to talk about a Khan in this video, but we're here to talk about the big thing with Nick Khan. And I kind of have some question marks here. And so he basically is going to get rid of all his shares here. But is he still going to be like the president title for the company? Cash out while the stock is at an all-time high, maybe? Maybe he's just cashing out where the stock's at an all-time high? I really don't know what's going on here. What could be going on here? Cashing out because the stock's at an all-time high. Nick Khan is not leaving the company. He's retaining his position as president. Still president of the company. I don't want to see people saying, oh, Nick Khan, he's going to leave the company. He's just cashing out because the stock's at an all-time high. He doesn't plan to hold his current position long-term, believes this is the best time to cash out. Could be his last year, get a huge paycheck. And it's not that deep. I know people are looking at it being like, he's probably cashing out and moving on to his next venture. He's made his money from WWE. He could go into his next venture. He's got the TV deals, got a lot of money now, and looks like this could be maybe his last year in WWE. I don't know. But he still has position in the company. But I'm still really shocked about this. So on the 6 Feet Under podcast, The Undertaker was talking about R-Truth. And he suggests that WWE needs a R-Truth variety show. Basically, a variety show is like, say, Sunday Night Live, for example. More like comedy stuff. Well, Sunday Night Live's not really much comedy anymore, but you know what I mean. But R-Truth is a national treasure. The man is so damn funny. I feel like he'd have a big audience if he had any kind of show for just like comedic purposes. And I feel like the Undertaker's getting more vocal publicly because now he's a podcaster. He can make you break no matter how serious you are in that character, so I'd like to see that. But I was mentioning, we have another thing to talk about, a Khan. We have to talk about Tony Khan now. He compares AEW and WWE, and in doing so calls WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. This man can just not get off his own way. It's like he just thinks about WWE 24/7. And it's like Soul Monster said on Twitter. It's like he said on Twitter what he said. He said something like, oh, he just couldn't help himself. It always has to come back to WWE. And it's just true. He just can't help himself. It always comes back to him mentioning WWE in something. How do you compare WWE to Harvey Weinstein? Just an embarrassment from Tony Khan. And did he say AEW's the Pepsi of wrestling or something? Jesus Christ. Tony Khan. And people be like, oh yes, it's okay to throw shots. Well, you can't do this weekly. He got himself trending with Weinstein. They literally have Jericho on the roster. And had those, you remember those allegations? And also, it just makes you look stupid when he did a recent interview saying that your company's always under attack. And then you attack WWE. Tony Khan, man, is ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen, from Mr. Khan. Not surprised, though. So the advertised card for tonight, for SmackDown, which I'll review, Day 1 here, the WWE Draft, Day 2 will be Monday night on Raw. We'll also have Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles contract signing. setting up for, I believe, next week's pay-per-view in Lyon, France, where the Undisputed Championship will be on the line, or WWE Undisputed title, where the fuck they call it now. And CM Punk appears. CM Punk returns. CM Punk. Remember when CM Punk, I think, debuted, Tony Khan was like, CM Punk. He'll probably be chanting CM Punk tonight. But tonight should be fun. This is really the kickstart. I'd say this is the kickstart to Cody's title reign. The first few weeks were just promos. Didn't really have anything to do. I think they were just trying to waste time, honestly. But SmackDown's going to be good tonight. We have CM Punk there. Cody and AJ. There's going to be some other stuff that probably hasn't been announced. So The Rock, per Wrestling Observer newsletter, The Rock's work during the Build to WrestleMania 40 and Heyman's Hall of Fame speech are considered the official end of the PG era in WWE. Not to say the TV shows will be changing as a decision hasn't been made, but it's something talked about as WWE nears the start of the Netflix deal. Yeah, I mean, they're showing a lot more blood on TV. You know, remember from Cody's, Kevin Owens, letting Paul Heyman curse The Rock. They've let Cody curse. So it feels like the PG era is slowly going away. And it's like Cody and The Rock tease no limits, letting them cuss. Well, mostly The Rock, but they let Cody curse too. But hopefully the PG era is over. So, The Undertaker would like to see a Women's Intercontinental Championship and a Women's United States Championship be introduced in WWE's on the 6 Feet Under podcast that he does. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. Maybe, I don't know if I want to see a men's version of the IC and US title for the women. But, I don't know, it just feels lazy because it's literally a secondary title. But the women's division's need. I could definitely see an Intercontinental Championship belt, a women's Intercontinental Championship belt. I don't know about a women's United States Championship. Maybe a women's Intercontinental would be. I'd like to see that. So remember, Cameron Grimes got released. It's reported 4 days ago. That day I didn't do a video. He was released from WWE. Yeah, he was released, and apparently, Cameron Grimes states after expressing concern of being cut to a high-level WWE executive last Friday, he was told that he'd never have to worry about losing his job. 5 days later, he was called to be notified of his release from the company. I don't think Triple H controls releases. I know people are like, oh, Triple H just released him. Triple H doesn't control releases. He doesn't have the power. That's up to management. All he does is, he does creative. You can't just blame, oh yeah, it's Triple H. He does creative. He doesn't make the decisions who gets released or not. And Wrestling Observer Newsletter is like, oh yeah, it was a Paul Levesque decision. Dave Meltzer, it's time for you to retire, buddy. Nobody trusts your damn sources. So Sadiq Khan wants to bring WrestleMania to London if he wins third term as mayor. London's already the sporting capital of the world. If I'm re-elected, which will be next Thursday, we'll go even further. We'll look to bring the WrestleMania Super Bowl, and the NBA to London, and put together another bid for the 2040 Olympics. And Triple H said, let's talk. Are we really going to get WrestleMania in London? That would be freaking insane. Wembley would have another broken record. Triple H is freaking cooking. Like, are we actually going to get WrestleMania in London? We've had wrestlers push for it. We might actually get it. And people are like, oh, they don't even do pay-per-view in London. They had Money in the Bank over there. So, they can do WrestleMania. Jimmy Uso has been sidelined with an undisclosed injury. Timetable for return unknown yet. Reported by Fightful Select. I think, is it storyline? I think it, storyline wise, I don't think he's actually injured. I think it's just a storyline thing. honestly. Or maybe when Jeff speared, or maybe when he got speared off the ramp at Mania, maybe he landed on his arm or something. Maybe an arm injury. I don't know. But this freaking injury bug's going around. So the champions of WWE will be protected on their to their brands. Damian Priest, Becky Lynch, Awesome Truth, and Sami Zayn will remain on WWE Raw. Cody Rhodes, Bayley, Theory, and Waller tag champs. And Logan Paul will remain on SmackDown. I mean, it makes sense because they just made titles for those brands, especially the tag titles. So, WrestleMania 40 saw less pyro than previous years due to cutbacks under Endeavor. There was talks of doing even far less pyro than what was used. Man, making record money but wanting to do cutbacks on pyro. But yeah, there's one more thing I want to talk about. It's not on a Wrestle OPS here, Wrestle Ops. So, with no details, some breaking WWE news. Vince McMahon ends WWE ties. He sells his last of TKO shares. Hell is frozen over. No shares for Vince McMahon. We truly have won. Good riddance, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Smoking that Vincent Kennedy McMahon pack. I mean, I don't think there's anything to Nick Contrast like I mentioned, but glad Vince is done. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for the wrestling news. So until next time out, peace.